Hi, I'm Lesley Canarium, Reader Conversations Librarian here at the Rogers Public Library. And here for our February Take It Make It kit, we are making scrap paper Valentines. Okay, the first thing you're going to want to do is color your pieces of scrap paper. These have been taken from various books discarded by the library. I don't want you to think that we destroyed any good books for this project. They're either outdated almanacs or books that were ruined past fixing. So they're just there to have words on paper. Remember, you're going to want to have something on top of your work surface because this is a messy project. Start by taking, you don't have a big bottle of red paint, but you should have enough, and just squirting some of the red tempera paint, this is washable tempera paint, in the bottom of a plastic cup or whatever you want to use for that. And you're just going to take your brush and paint over, but we want this first one to be just a nice, deep, dark, rich red. Maybe give it another little coat just to make sure it's all good, bright Valentine's red. And then you're going to take that aside and set it aside to dry. You're probably going to want to let these dry overnight. And then you'll take your paint and just a little bit of water, just a tiny bit, and mix that up. Because what you're going for is something that's a little bit lighter than that straight paint, but not too much lighter, sort of a mid-tone. And once again, we're gonna paint over it. Just do one layer, and this time, and that also will help give you a nice contrast between the first one and the second one. If you've got like little streaks of color in there, that's actually good. That will make it even more interesting because what we're going for is a variations in color. So you can see how these two reds are a little bit different. And we'll set the second one aside to dry. And finally, I'm going to add just a touch more water, mix it in, and now we're going to have a nice light pink. So we're going to have 3 different tones of red here. If you've got, if you want to do this project on your own, you can vary it up with your own colors of paint. Or if you've got your own books that are past saving and that you want to tear pages out of, you can use even more than 3. But 3's plenty. This is good. This is a good start. Now that you've let your papers dry overnight, you'll see you have the nice 3 different reds, from pink to middle tone to a deep red. They've wrinkled a little bit in drying, but that's okay. Because what we're going to do now is we're going to tear them up. Just take your pieces of paper and tear them. You want them to be pretty thin sheets, but try and keep them long. It's nice if it has these little bits of white edges because that's going to add a little bit of interesting texture to your project. You should also have had in your kit a nice white sheet of paper we're going to use to build the design on. If you've been in crafting at all, I'm sure you're familiar with Mod Podge or other products which are used for decoupage. And they're great, specially designed for that. But I'll tell you a secret. If you want to do decoupage, all you really need is good old plain white craft glue. Pour it into your cup and add just enough water so it's easily spreadable. There we go. This has got a little pink in it because I'm reusing the same cup, but that's okay. It won't make any difference at all. And just start taking your strips of different colors and gluing them into place. The idea is we want to make nice stripes of different colors with different sort of words in the background, different print styles. All right, once you've got, a nice set of stripes going here, give it all a good coating once again with the glue. You can see I did not use all of the strips. So if you want to make a second Valentine, feel perfectly free to grab a piece of scratch paper or You know, you could even use different colored paper to see how it looks against something other than white. Just be as creative as you like. And at this point, you can even sprinkle a little red or white glitter or maybe silver glitter on the top, and it'll settle nicely into the glue if you want to go that way. You know I'm always into the glitter. You're going to want to let this sit and dry overnight as well, but you really don't want it to get all wrinkly. So after you've given it an hour or so to get sort of tacky and not sopping wet, take a piece of wax paper and put it over the top. And then you can pile some magazines or books on top of it, and then it'll glue nice and flat. We've got our nice design here. It's all dried overnight. It's good and flat. If you had decided to go with glitter, it would look something like this. You should also have in your kit a little design for a heart like this. You can go ahead and use this, or you can come up with your own pattern. I know a lot of you people are really creative, so I'm sure you will. So go ahead, if you're going to use it, and cut out the heart shape, and then just flip over your design. You're going to want to trace a heart. You don't want to make it much bigger than this, though, because this is pretty much as big as you can make it and still have it fit on the card. And go ahead and cut it out. This is going to be thick with all the layers of paper and glue, so make sure you've got sturdy scissors. If you've got fancy craft scissors that make scalloped edges or things like that, you can try that as well. And now, got a nice little heart with all these patterns on it. Or if I chose to do it with glitter, it would look like that. But I think I'll just use the plain one because it's perfectly pretty. You've also got in your kit note cards. So I'm just going to fold them in half, and I'm going to take my trusty craft glue, go around the edges. You don't want to get too close to the edges. You don't want the glue squishing out. If you're worried about the glue squishing out, you can just sort of, could have used a paintbrush. That would have been tidier, but you know. Am I really me doing a craft if I'm not covered with glue and paint by the end of it? And put this right on top. So you can see that heart just fits there. And then I'm going to take my piece of wax paper, put something heavy on top, and let it sit once again overnight so it's good and dry. And then when the project is done, you're going to have something like this. This is one I did with different hearts, different size hearts that I just cut out freehand. And then a red and a black pen and just turned them into little balloons. And I just need to put a message inside like, every time I try to think about how much I love you, the words just float away. Okay, yeah, that's corny. Or maybe there are no words to say how much I love you. Anything that you feel is appropriate for the person you love. And then you've got an envelope, and you can just stick your Valentine inside, and you've got something really special to give to a person that you love.